Massachusetts Ballot Question 3 would require humane living conditions for pigs, calves, and hens, food-producing farm animals kept in Massachusetts or in other states if their raw food products are sold here. Brad Mitchell of the Massachusetts Farm Bureau and Diane Sullivan of Citizens Against Food Tax Injustice spoke with Connecting Point correspondent Carolee McGrath about why they are opposed to Question 3.
This initiative would ban three things: veal crates for cows, gestation crates for pigs, and battery cage for egg-laying hens. We only have one farm in Massachusetts that would be directly impacted by this. It's a small family farm with about 3,000 birds. We've long given up these practices. They're economy of scale practices that frankly will never come back here. We have small farms. We mostly sell directly to the public. So we oppose this because we don't see a need for it here. Now, some people might ask them, what's the harm? From our perspective, it's been undermining really the confidence in Massachusetts farmers. We've long given up these practices, but if you hear the proponents speak, there's a need for this, and these things do exist. We have a very strong buy local program, and this initiative suggests to folks that these practices do take place, and it's really undermining a lot of hard work that a lot of farmers have done to really develop a relationship with their customers. And frankly, we feel like we're pawns in a larger game. If you really want to stop veal crates and gestation crates, why are you in Massachusetts? Why aren't you in the Midwest? Why aren't you in the Southeast? Frankly, we suspect we're pawns in a game to push a national agenda and to raise funds, and we don't like being part of that.
Okay, and Diane, you have slightly different reasons for opposing Question 3. If you could explain that. Do you really consider it a food tax?
Absolutely. It would be a new regulation that causes an increase to the cost of certain basic foods. And to the tune of $250 million, Cornell University has done a study, an economic impact study on what Question 3 would cost Massachusetts consumers, and that's $250 million. And I have a very strong background in anti-poverty work, working on issues to end homelessness here in Massachusetts. And when I look at that $250 million price tag, in addition to all of the concerns that Brad has expressed, we are not in a position to be spending actually more than $100 million more than we spend on our two biggest subsidized housing programs here in Massachusetts. This $250 million would be going to out-of-state producers to subsidize housing for their livestock. We have our own human housing crisis going on here in Massachusetts that needs to be addressed.
The proponents of Question 3 say it's really not going to cost families that much more. I'm guessing you disagree with that.
Absolutely. They conveniently ignore what happened in California. California right now is the only state that bans the sale of eggs that come from a caged hen. And we can look at those prices, and they remain consistently double what they are across the rest of the country since the implementation of that law. Further, we can go into, actually closer, we can go into our local grocery stores and look at the current cost differences between conventional eggs and cage-free eggs. And right now, from what I see, they're about 2 to 3 times more than the cost of conventional eggs.
And what are you hearing from your farmers, and how many members do you have in Massachusetts?
We have about 6,000 members. The vast majority of folks oppose this in our organization, which is why I'm sitting here today. I do what my members tell me. We're concerned about bad policy. We're a policy organization. We work a lot in the State House. We're down in DC. And good policy is based on logic, common sense, and facts. And quite frankly, this whole initiative is based on emotion. And that's a really bad basis for this. Folks can choose now whether they want to buy cage-free or cage-free pork, cage-free veal, cage-free eggs. You can go into the supermarket and decide that now. We're concerned that people are being misled into taking away their own choice and really creating a bad policy.
And what other regulations in the last few years have been making it difficult for farmers here?
We had federal food safety regulations that were proposed for a few years back, which worked well for really large farms who could afford compliance, but really left the small-sized operations and medium-sized operations out and made it very difficult to comply. We're looking at regulations on protected farmland that really treat them as kind of second-class farmers and limit what they can do for bringing people onto the farm and letting them see the practice so they understand their food system. They prevent agritourism and things like that. It's a common topic. We've got water regulations. The Clean Water Act is coming into play that's basically would make every drainage ditch in the country on a farm a navigable water according to the EPA, and puts a lot of restrictions on. We don't mind regulation. It levels the playing field, keeps everybody safe. We saw a few years ago, we had some folks from one farm who got sick from spinach, and the whole spinach market dropped out across the country for several years. So we don't mind regulations, but it's got to be sound, it's got to make sense, and it's got to work on the farm. And that's our biggest concern with regulations, including this one.
And one of the challenges I think that you have is you have two other very big questions on the ballot. You have question 4, which is marijuana, and you have question 2, which is charter schools. And you don't have as much money, perhaps, as the other side on question 3. How has that been a challenge for you?
Well, of course, it's a huge challenge. At last check, our budget was about 5% what our opponents is. And we've got to look at, where is that money coming from? That is a special interest DC lobbying group that is here in Massachusetts using outside funds to really try to get Massachusetts consumers, or to dictate what it is that we eat. And right now, 90% of us buy conventional eggs. And I would argue that that's largely in part due because we live in such an expensive state right now. Right now, families are making the decision between, do I pay my rent? Do I feed my children? These are not trade-offs that any family should have to be dealing with. So to suggest that, first of all, the cost and the impact would be a penny an egg is extremely misleading. And to suggest that Massachusetts consumers are in the financial position to bankroll going cage-free with the country's livestock is ludicrous. We're not in a position to be able to afford to do that.
Okay. And, some people might say, look, the industry is moving in this direction anyway. Why not just say yes on 3?
Well, it is moving this way because consumers can vote with their dollar, and they do. Some people who can and choose to buy cage-free. Many people in Massachusetts, it's part of the reason, not the only reason, why farmers here have moved against it. But why would you take people's choice away? Particularly people who may not be able to afford that choice.
Mm-hmm. Diane, what would you say to people out there who are considering, how to vote on this, and where do they find more information if they want to hear your position?
Sure. Well, our website is stopfoodtax.com, and I encourage everybody to check that out. You'll see we've put together a graph that pulls the data from the USDA that demonstrates that the cost of eggs in California remains double what they are across the rest of the country, and it's been that way since the implementation in 2015. So I really want people to know the facts, to really listen to the sound reason that is out there, understand that this is in fact a new $250 million regulatory, hidden tax packed right into the cost to the consumers that we would be spending to send to out-of-state producers to subsidize housing.
All right, Diane and Brad, thank you so much for coming in and giving us your perspective on this. Thank you.
Thank you.